What's up guys, it's Richard here with another video review. It's been a while since my last one, however it's 2012 now. I'm looking forward to getting back into it. And today we're going to be starting off with a Merc Alpha. This is a mid-sized case developed by BitFenix. So BitFenix probably would have been better known for their modding and cooling peripherals earlier on. However, I think it was about 2011 they started actually developing cases as well. So let's take this one out of the box and take a look inside. So let's take a quick look at the accessories first. Here we've got a little plastic bag which is filled with long screws, got some thumb screws in there as well, and some motherboard mounting brackets. We've got a power supply bracket here as well. A little BitFenix logo stickers. I can't actually find a BitFenix logo anywhere on the case here, so I've given you this and you can pretty much choose where you want to put it on the case. We've also got a quick installation guide, so if it's your first build or you're not too familiar with how to remove the side panels, install the drives, etc., this shows you exactly what you need to do to get the computer up and running. So let's take a closer look at the case now. So let's start off at the top of the case. Here we've got our 4 USB 2.0 ports there. We've got a microphone and headphone jacks, as well as 2 LED lights there. We've got our power button, as well as our reset button there as well. Show you the top now. So we've got 2 120mm fan spots here. They don't actually come with fans in this case, however you can install them yourself, and that way you can get some hot air being exhausted out the top of the case. Onto the front of the case, you can see that we've got our 3 5¼ drive bay covers here, so you can just take one of those off and install your optical drive in there. We've also got a 3.5-inch drive bay just below them if you needed to use that as well. Pretty much the front of the case is all clean then, except for when you go down you can see that we've got a little mesh grill down here, just so we can ensure that we've got some airflow going into the front of the case as well. Nothing much to see on the right hand side here. As you can see, it's pretty much just the same material all across the case, and this side is left blank. On the left hand side of the case you can see it's pretty much blank apart from this vertical mesh here. So this actually allows you to install 2 120mm fans, one at the top, one at the bottom. That way you can get some cool airflow coming into the side of your case, onto your GPU and the motherboard. So at the back of the case we've got our cutout here for the motherboard's input-output shield. We've also got a 120mm fan that did come included with the case. Just below that we've got 2 holes which are used for water cooling, so if you're going to be putting any tubing inside and outside the case you can use those. We've also got our 7 PCIe slots there, so they've actually included another bracket on the side here, and that is secured by 3 screws, so you've got one there, there and there, and that is actually preventing from any of these from coming out, so it's sort of, you don't have to screw everything in if you're going to be having this in. It actually makes them nice and secure. One thing to note as well is we've also got a little bracket that comes out here, so you've got one side on this panel and you've got the other side actually on the back of the case, and you can put a lock on there, so if you're going to be taking the computer to a LAN, just want to be on the safe side, you can put a lock on there as well. And finally down the bottom, as you can see, we've got a cutout here for the power supply, and a couple of different areas that you can secure it in with screws, so depending on what size you got you don't have to really worry because this will support it. Let's take the case covers off and take a look inside. Starting off on the left you can see we've got our 120mm included fan there. We've also got a CPU backplate cutout just here. So this is a super handy feature to have. For example, if you were using a stock CPU core and then you wanted to upgrade to something like a Corsair H80, normally you just have to take everything off the motherboard, pull the motherboard out and then install it that way. However, this all you need to do is take the side panel off and you can access it that way, which is a super handy feature because the other way is quite time consuming. Over here we've got our 3 5¼ drive bays. We've also got our front panel connectors as we go to the motherboard. As you can see they've got a black plastic sort of sleeving on them, which fits quite well with the overall black theme. And just below we can see we've got our 3.5-inch drive bays here, so there isn't any support for the 2.5-inch drive, so most SSDs do come with some sort of mounting bracket which will make them compatible with this kind of setup. Over here you can see we've got our PCIe brackets, and just below finally got some sort of grill here, so if you install your power supply with the fan facing downwards and you're not going to have any issues there. So that pretty much covers it for the inside of the case. What I'll do now is I'll chuck some components in there and give you an idea of what it looks like once you've got everything installed. So as you can see, we've gone ahead and installed some components inside the case. We've got a Corsair H70 CPU cooler, we've got a GTX 460 graphics card, and an Antec 750 watt partially modular power supply. You can see the cables down there at the bottom. We've got our storage drive and a 5.25 inch Blu-ray reader here at the top. So as you can see, I haven't put too much effort into the cable management here. This should give you guys an idea what it looks like. I'm going to be taking all these bits out and putting them into another case shortly, but you can see we've got lots of areas here where you can route the cables and basically keep the inside of the case nice and tidy. So I'll just flip it around and show you what the back looks like once you got everything installed. So you can see we've got the motherboard input output area, we've got our fan, graphics card, and the power supply. So that pretty much wraps it up for my video review of the BitFenix Merc Alpha. I'm pretty impressed with this case, and bearing in mind that it is mid-size, I put a large water block in there, and I've still got a little bit of room to play with. It's got a competitive price, it looks great, and it has a lot of cooling options as well. As usual, I will have a written review available, so keep an eye out for that in the description box below. And as usual, thanks for checking out this video, guys, and if you enjoyed it and want to see more like it, don't forget to subscribe.